I think we'll go ahead and get started. I think we're probably a couple minutes after, which is on time for real estate agents. So we are good to go. So welcome to Monday after Super Bowl Sunday. Who had a great weekend? Everyone had a great weekend here. Watched a little bit of football. So actually a good game. So that's what's fantastic about it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And Taylor, I'm going to have you kind of show with some of this. Let me do my share screen. And Taylor is the assistant team leader. For you, those who don't know me, know who I am. I'm Kelly Chancy, team leader at the Buckhead office. Taylor is the assistant team leader. She's really the extraordinary person that knows everything about how to run an office, technology. I'm the one that just knows how to put some houses under contract. So the technology piece, if I screw up, we'll defer to Taylor on. So let's see, sharing options. Multiple, let's see. This, who could share? Host, done. I think I'm gonna do share my screen. This is why they do not have me as the tech trainer over here. So got it. Oh, now I know. Done. All right, let's go ahead. I'll pull up the stats. And here we go. So Fulton County, this is coming out. Let's just start with Fulton County right now. From week over week, looking at some stats, it looks like actives. We had, steady increase or steady numbers, 633. One on the market looks, what's really nice to see is holding a real steady of active under contracts, and also seeing, the slight increase of pendings, which I always look at that as people are able to keep their due diligence periods together and actually go pending, and just keeping a good, trend on that. Anything that's standing out to you, Taylor? I'll start with you first.
Well, it looks like we do have a lot more going on in the active column, which is awesome. And then our pendings, like you were saying, has increased significantly as well. So hopefully those two continue to go up in numbers. So we can have some more in the closings column as well. That would be fantastic. I think the biggest ones, like we've mentioned on this call before, are going to be agents needing to look at the withdrawn and the expireds. So those are going to be some good indicators for business that could be potentially left on the table. So if you're not looking at the withdrawn and the expireds as viable options for business, I think you're missing out.
Exactly. And then what I like to do, and it's interesting, February to January is always kind of interesting comparison. I think what we'll start to see is when we move into the month of March, where some trend lines are going for the year, because I like looking week over a week from the months. So if it's the second week of the month, what is that trending like? Except the end of the new year, beginning of the new year is always kind of a natural change there. Let's go ahead and flip really quick. I would just look at the cab. Let's see. Over here. And then we'll get into the articles. And actually, I have a little bit of a topic to discuss with y'all. So, all right, let's look. We're seeing here again, actives, 331, again, active under contract at 81. I love seeing that the pendings went to 207. So congrats, agents. You are keeping your due diligence periods together. And then our close volume is at around 111. And I always look at here too, when you get such a early part of the month, FMLS is a little lag. Sometimes the changing, maybe end of January closing, that probably some of this was closed there. There's just a little lag sometimes at a change in the status. So it shows up around that time frame. But so looks pretty consistent from what I'm seeing. And then let me flip really quickly to Cobb. Okay, so we're looking again, actives around 300, active under contracts 86, and awesome again, pending staying at 226, and then we'll have closing at 109. I think that one, if we look kind of, I think we're going to start to see something in the next couple of weeks as showing more pendings. Any ahas or any things that you're noticing as well, Taylor?
I think the biggest thing here, like we had chatted about with our agents over in Buckhead, was to really push in your Q4 numbers to help build up a strong, solid Q1. So I think this is a really good indication of agents doing that in their business, is just really taking the push in Q4 to make January, which is typically a slower month for real estate and agents overall, but January, I think, has been relatively strong, at least for this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kelly, but I think we've seen a really good January overall in all of the Heart of Atlanta offices in particular, just because of this push. So I think, again, to your point, congrats to the agents for doing a really good job in making sure that their Q4 finished out really strong so they could then carry it forward into the new year.
Exactly. Any ahas from before we get into a few articles I pulled up, but really I want to kind of get into a topic discussion, to be quite honest with you, because I think it's relevant. We've been talking a lot about it. Anyone from the audience, any ahas from what you're seeing here? And y'all know I'm really bad at, I really am bad at technology. So it's not me trying not to be good. I just really don't ever mess with this stuff. So I am going to flip out of there. All right, let me get us to, I'm going to pull up a couple other things and then we'll share it. We should have made you the host, Taylor.
All good. All good, all good.
All right, let me start off with sharing with what I found a couple of articles. So we talk quite a bit about in the office about being the local economist in the market. And so like, let me just start off with a few things, few articles, just what we're seeing, kind of what we all been experiencing. This is Inman News. They're talking about, this came out today, that buyers are returning to the market, and the sellers are following, which they look at things, which is kind of cool. We talk a lot about what are leading indicators, what are actuals, you know, what we see in real time. And so leading indicators, we always go open houses, like how many people are coming through open houses. If you are really good at tracking internet leads, you would maybe start of inquiries or hits or requests through your portals. Obviously, leads is a leading indicator of showing that there's demand. As to when they will actually buy or sell is a matter of probably conversations, timing, becoming really good as that local real estate economist. So this article here really talks about, they're seeing the clicks on their website. They're seeing more buyers actually wanting to log in. And they're seeing here, it says, this is, and of course, right, this is a national, not just Atlanta. They've posted the smallest monthly decline since September in this 4-week period. So the number, obviously we went up, the interest rates went up so high in July that has slowed down the number of pendings that we had. However, what they're saying is the constant decline in home sales, they're seeing the smallest amount of it. And being nationally, we have great weather when it comes to most of the time for December and January, so we could still sell quite a bit in Q1 compared to nationally. So to me, this is promising, and it really states that if you want to grab your market share, there is opportunity. The buyers are out there. Any thoughts on this?
I think
any thoughts on this from anyone? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think definitely the buyers are out there. It's more of a conversation. How are we going to get them to close? Having those conversations with them about the different elements that are going on in the market when it comes to the price ranges for all these homes, and then the interest rates. I know that's a huge topic for everybody right now. You just have to learn how to spin the conversation so it makes sense for your clients, because they're only hearing things from the news or friends, maybe not actual agents who are in in the meat of things. So if they don't understand what they're talking about when it comes to interest rates, educate them, make sure that they know what's actually going on. And if you don't feel comfortable having that conversation with them, bring in your affiliate partners, bring in your mortgage lenders, and have that conversation so they're educated and they don't continue thinking, well, the market sucks right now. We can't buy, the market sucks, interest rates are terrible. So just having those conversations, I think, with your clients really is going to be helpful across the board.
Again, it's which we're going to pivot to is how do you become the local real estate economist to your database, to your sphere, to your farm, to those who call you on the sign call or internet lead, and so forth. So let me go ahead. I'm going to take us to another quick article, and then we'll move on to some other great resources. So let me pull up. Just going to pull down this so you don't see all of my ads. Y'all, I'm building a house, so every pop-up ad is usually about what cabinet, what tile I'm going to buy, and so okay. So Atlanta Business Chronicle, our new Atlanta Realtors president, Michael Fisher here. He has also just shared what his expectations are in studying the market, that we're just seeing, the title is Atlanta Home Price Appreciation Flattens After Cooling Buyer Demand. And, if you dig into what he's really saying, it's not that it's no appreciation, it's just we've had such an excessive 20% year over year. So with that, it feels quite low, but we will still have a small appreciation going forward in 2023. And it's just where, as he writes here, the Atlanta real estate market has been rebalancing over the last several months. And so therefore, that's where it's just talking about that. He says here, pending home sales in Metro Atlanta fell to a 12-year low in December. Again, I always feel like we have to kind of a little bit put that into perspective at times. I mean, certainly the 12 years ago, we were still starting to come out of the recession. So demand was still trying to come up. We just slowed down when we also there was an abundance of inventory come out of the recession. Now we have less inventory, plus with the change in interest rate, it just means less transaction as a result of less sellers, less listings. And then of course, interest rate made the demand change. However, he talks about there's signs of the housing rebound already. Average margin is still higher. However, we're seeing people get back in. And then even Pulte here has their sales increase the last 3 months of 2022. So they've kind of changed their perspective a little bit, that it's going to be a softer, nothing, it's not a harsh crash by any means, but maybe just really a little bit softer expectations, but not, but still appreciating. So thoughts on any of that? And then I'm going to share what I want to share too.
Well, let's get into that meat.
Okay. So we were talking about this. So Taylor, I'm going to go ahead and all these wonderful agents online. Love for you all to jump in. So we were talking about what does it mean to be the local economist of choice within your sphere, your database, certainly all things real estate. Like, what does that all mean? And this is a kind of a group discussion. So I would love somebody here to chime in a little bit.
So like we've chatted about in our office, Kelly, it doesn't mean just knowing one thing, just being an expert in one thing. So for us, being an agent is that one thing. You don't have to be the expert in just that one thing. And I think broadening your sphere, broadening your understanding of your neighborhood and the climate that you're in is really the way that you can kind of diversify your knowledge and make sure that you present as an expert. So whether it's knowing your neighborhood, whether it's knowing the new and up and coming spots, so developments, restaurants, schools, et cetera, knowing all those things, and having a good firm understanding of what's happening in your area. That way you can talk to it and speak to those around you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Stephanie, I didn't mean to cut you off. You go right ahead.
Yeah, Stephanie, go ahead. So what does it mean to be like the local real estate economist? What does that mean? And Stephanie, I thought you were starting to come in, and if you are available, I'd love to hear from you and anyone else.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, sorry. We both started talking at the same time. To me, the local economist of choice is, having them come to you when it comes to real estate, more like them coming to you for hyper local information, not so much based on just what they see on the news, but instead of checking with Google, checking with you instead.
That is every real estate agent's dream, is that they come to you. And that's usually because you've built some credibility over the years with your database. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes, and then also staying top of mind, posting and just sharing information about the real estate economy, so that way, whenever they do have a question, they think to come to you.
Yes, you stay top of mind, which is perfect. As they say 36, now they're actually saying 72 if you add a digital touches a year. So you guys stay top of mind, and you've had to build credibility in your knowledge about the market. What are some things to show that you're credible, or to even build your own credibility if you need to learn? What are some ways to show that you're credible about the real estate market? What is some information may be helpful that you keep up with?
I would say talking about this information, talking about the market, showing that you are knowledgeable about the actual data versus what the media is saying.
So that would mean maybe staying informed on the stats. Is that correct?
100%. Tuning in every Monday at 2:30.
You're always good for a good promotion. So Natalie, what else would your clients want to know, or your database want to know?
I would say maybe how, if they're homeowners, how have their home appreciated in the last couple of years, and what that means for them, what they can do with the equity. And if they're home buyers, what are the steps as far as penetrating the market and letting them know that they can do it? It may sound scary, but there are some steps that we have in place that can make them, that can afford them to be homeowners.
So real estate 101 of like understanding how to give them a home evaluation, certainly knowing how to guide a buyer through a transaction, understanding. So to be an economist, like what are the numbers? If it's the market is favorable one direction, if it's less favorable another direction, if it's none of us can fully predict any future, nor do we ever pretend to be one, but we've studied the stats, perhaps, as you're saying, that we know the patterns. We know we can start to see trend lines. Maybe we stay in touch with our mortgage lender to know how interest rates are going. What are they seeing? Less applications, more applications? Is that meaning the the mortgage interest rate is having an effect on the market or not? Those are maybe all some great thoughts on how to become the local economist of choice. What else would give you credibility with your database, your sphere, the general public, to also show that you really know the real estate market in Atlanta? And then I'm going to show you what I want to recommend.
I would. Oh,
is that you, Lee?
It's me out here.
Awesome.
Obviously, Mark King says that no national company, corporation, and statistics provider will know more about your local market than you as a skilled professional. And I think the thing that really stamps your expertise is when you can demonstrate, for example, that Atlanta is bucking the national trend, that we're already on an upward trend when the national press reports that house prices have yet to bottom out, that type of thing. And if you take it down to a hyper local level, neighborhood by neighborhood, street by street, where appreciation is happening or not.
So what makes a home, like an area? Thank you, Lee. You're exactly right. And so what makes a area desirable and a market sustainable? It's the reason why Atlanta is number one market expected to grow in 2023 is because we have the increase of jobs. We have a diversified economy. We have a lot of different jobs. We're hearing of companies that are moving in or staying put, or they're slower. If there are some layoffs, they're a little bit slower to do it here. We're hearing of population increasing. We're hearing of, obviously we got, great weather, great things there. So I just want to share, and we tend to pull up Inman a lot here. We'll pull up a few other ones, but I want to pull up some other local that I think it's good. I was talking to, we do script practicing, and I was talking to our team meeting about how we constantly, let's get rid of this one. Let's see. What we need to do to, let me stop sharing that. What some publications we use. And let's get rid of this so I can show you what I want to show you. So many of you probably already subscribed to, but if you get on and if you subscribe emails, Urbanize Atlanta, go to atlanta.urbanize.city. It will start to tell you everything. And what I like about this one is very localized. And it will tell me about commercial development. It'll tell me about, maybe I'll get a little bit of restaurant stuff, but I'll get a lot about buildings, residential real estate, what's going on with the, if they're doing something going on with the Beltline project. It has things that's going around with the battery. It's just some projects where life is happening, where there's going to be some really great developments here. And it just adds to my credibility. So my morning routine, like I tell everybody at the office, I wake up, go make coffee, probably drink about 3 cups of it while I sit here and I glance through all my emails and catch up on a daily basis as to with these articles of the things that are happening within Atlanta, of where they're building the new parks, what's kind of the, the vision for the Beltline. And here it's saying they have vision for it to come up to the Chamblee area, just different things. So this is one of the articles that I just sit and kind of stare at on a daily basis. They also have, if you're a little outside of the in-town neighborhoods, like you can pull up, like, obviously they have in here like Alpharetta, and they can hear all about what's going on Main Street, how they're going to reimagine North Point Mall, just things that make you sound credible and believable when you talk about all the wonderful things happening in the Atlanta area. Same thing if y'all who are in the West Cobb office, they have, again, just talks about what's coming up in like Marietta. It's like, for me as an agent, I was always felt like I wanted to be the first person, or at least on the front line or towards the front of the line, to inform my clients and my database what's going on in their neighborhood. I didn't want it to be like, oh yeah, we've seen this article now for like whatever, 2-3 months, and then I'm just now catching up to telling them. So as to touches, like old tricks are that we can do to stay in touch is look at some of these articles. You have in your command database, your database segmented by where they live, whether it's Marietta, Alpharetta, in town, Chamblee, Smyrna, Vinings. Like you can have it, do a search, take one of these articles that morning, email it out, going, hey, guess what's coming to your area of town? If it's something like the Colony Square redevelopment plans, a new downtown for Cobb County. I mean, some just the cool things that make the areas why we love living where they live. And just making that a kind of my morning routine as to a way to touch, as a way to stay informed. And then there's other ones, like I do subscribe to all the reporter news, like whether it's the Sandy Springs Reporter, the Dunwoody Reporter, In-Town Reporter, Buckhead Reporter, In-Town Reporter, Atlanta Reporter, all those, they tend to be a little bit more traditional newspaper type news. And in so doing, you'll hear about all the things that you don't really want to hear about, but it's true. Like if someone got shot and things like that, those are things I'll just scan through every morning. I'll get the AJC, scan through that every morning, just to get some what's going on in Atlanta, restaurants opening, new developments going on, anything going on with the Beltline, subscribing in email format to like the Beltline foundations and all these other different foundations. So just staying informed on what's going on, I think adds to our ability to be that person that, as Stephanie was saying, that our database is calling us. because they will, whether I know it at the moment, I can probably look it up, but they will know me as the agent, as a person that will know what's going on in Alpharetta or Marietta or in town. And really it's that simple. It's just going to other great resources. What are some other really great resources you all stay in touch with that help you become another local economist of choice?
I love Keeping Current Matters. I know that's not hyper local, but it always gives like good infographics to post and just share stuff that's going on nationwide.
Yep, Keeping Current Matters, because they say it very well in very bite-sized formats. What else? Anyone else? There's other, obviously local, like the Marietta Daily Journal, there's roughdraft.com, there's a lot of other, smaller publications, all worth checking into. In addition to, tuning in here, tuning into your weekly team meetings, staying in touch with your preferred lenders. And then of course we got articles that come from FannieMaeRealtor.com and so forth. So what, I guess we're leaving it with this. We're gonna hit time in a minute. My encouragement really is we're seeing that things are looking positive in a sense that demand is still out there. Interest rates have been a little more reasonable than they were July. And right now it's opportunity to go get a new client, to go get your market share. And so the thought process is around, well, one way to do this to be that local economist of choice. So any other thoughts before we close up on what you can do to be that in the eyes of your client?
I think you said it very well, Kelly.
So, well, awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us. I'm putting together a list of articles at some point, of publications. If you would like that list, feel free to shoot me an email. And y'all make it a really great Monday. Looking forward to seeing any of you who are going to family reunion this Friday. I believe it starts Saturday morning. If you don't know, Gary Keller's State of the Company and Vision speech will be streamed live on KW Connect. I think it's Sunday morning, 8:30 Pacific time. So that makes it 11:30 Atlanta time. So tune in KW Connect. If you're not going in person, he is definitely worth taking time to watch and to watch it live. So, well, y'all have a great day and we will see you soon.